A heart attack doesn't always start with intense chest pain. In fact, many cases happen silently, without warning, and can take a life in just minutes. Every year, over 1 million Americans suffer a heart attack without recognizing the early warning signs. Are you sure you're not one of them? Did you know that a single small change in your daily eating habits could help open your arteries, improve circulation, and reduce your risk of dying early from heart disease? In this video, you'll discover a simple blend of 3 natural ingredients that work to fight inflammation, support arterial health, and protect your heart. This isn't folk advice or baseless marketing. It's a medically backed formula based on real science and proven mechanisms. You'll learn exactly why this combination can make a meaningful difference for anyone over 60, especially if you're dealing with high blood pressure, bad cholesterol, or a family history of cardiovascular disease. Don't let time decide your health. Every minute that passes is either a chance to change or a step closer to danger. If you're looking for a safe, simple, and realistic way to protect your heart every day, stay with us until the end of the video, because the solution you need might already be sitting in a small spoon right in your kitchen. The circulatory system is the foundation of life. Your heart beats about 100,000 times a day to pump blood throughout the body. Every cell and organ relies on this blood flow to receive oxygen and nutrients. But over time, especially after age 60, this vascular system begins to deteriorate. Habits that seem harmless, like eating too much salt, being inactive, chronic stress, or poor sleep, quietly damage the inner lining of your arteries, slow down circulation, and lead to plaque buildup. This is the beginning of conditions like atherosclerosis, high blood pressure, and heart attacks. Many people feel perfectly fine on the outside until one day they experience symptoms like chest discomfort, shortness of breath, numbness in the arms, or dizziness. The frightening truth is that after age 60, heart disease symptoms often become milder or harder to detect, leading many to ignore them. Meanwhile, the risk of serious complications, such as heart attacks, increases sharply with each passing year. That's why older adults need to understand the importance of protecting their blood vessels and take proactive steps to support heart health before it's too late. You don't need to wait for complex test results or prescriptions to take action. There are simple, safe, and proven methods that can help clean your arteries, lower your blood pressure, and reduce your heart attack risk. Methods you can start right at home. What you'll learn in this video focuses on how to use natural foods as part of a broader strategy to support vascular health. This doesn't replace medical treatment, but it's strong enough to help your body recover and improve over time. Remember, age is not a reason to give up. It's a reminder that it's time to take action. The human body contains a vast network of blood vessels that stretch for tens of thousands of miles, reaching every organ. Among them, arteries play the most vital role, delivering oxygen-rich blood from the hearts to critical organs like the kidneys, liver, and even the heart itself. But over time, these arteries begin to weaken, lose elasticity, and most importantly, become clogged with plaque. This occurs when bad cholesterol, dead cells, calcium, and other waste materials accumulate along the arterial walls. In the beginning, these plaques simply narrow the arteries, making it harder for blood to flow normally. A person may feel tired when walking, experience chest tightness, dizziness when changing positions, or suffer from frequent unexplained headaches. But as the plaques grow larger or rupture, they create an environment where platelets can clump together and form blood clots. If a clot completely blocks blood flow to the heart, it results in a heart attack. This can happen in just a few minutes, but the consequences can last a lifetime or end life instantly. One important fact to understand is that plaque buildup and blood clots don't form overnight. They are the result of years of poor dietary habits, high intake of saturated fats, sugar, fried foods, physical inactivity, smoking, and chronic stress. All of these factors fuel a silent inflammatory process inside your artery walls. Inflammation not only damages the vessel lining, but also makes it easier for cholesterol to stick, creating a dangerous cycle that worsens over time. In older adults, the blood vessel walls have usually already lost much of their natural elasticity. This causes disruptions in circulation, unstable blood pressure, and increased strain on the heart. When the heart has to work too hard for too long, the heart muscle weakens, coronary arteries become compressed, and the risk of blockage rises significantly. What's even more dangerous is that early warning signs are often subtle, so many people don't realize anything is wrong until a serious event occurs. That's why understanding this process is essential. Preventing clogged arteries isn't just about taking medication or waiting for a medical intervention when it's already too late. It's about adopting a proactive strategy, starting with your daily habits around food, movement, and stress management. In the next section, you'll get detailed guidance on how to use 3 natural ingredients to fight inflammation, support artery cleansing, and improve circulation, right from your own kitchen. Extra virgin olive oil protects the endothelium and offers powerful antioxidant support. Extra virgin olive oil, especially the cold-pressed, unrefined variety, is one of the healthiest fats proven to benefit cardiovascular health. This oil is rich in polyphenols, a group of natural antioxidants that reduce inflammation within the blood vessel walls and prevent the oxidation of LDL, or bad cholesterol, which is a major contributor to atherosclerosis. Studies from Mediterranean countries where olive oil is consumed daily show significantly lower rates of heart disease compared to regions that rely heavily on industrial oils. In addition, olive oil helps improve endothelial function, the thin layer of cells lining the inside of arteries. When the endothelium is healthy, blood vessels can expand and contract smoothly, supporting blood pressure regulation and reducing the risk of clot formation. Just 1 tablespoon of olive oil a day can help improve cholesterol levels and reduce the risk of heart attack, especially in adults over 60. This benefit has been confirmed by multiple large-scale clinical trials. Chia seeds boost plant-based omega-3s, lower cholesterol, and support steady heart rhythm. Chia seeds are a superfood packed with plant-based omega-3 fatty acids and soluble fiber. When soaked in water, chia seeds form a natural gel that helps slow down food absorption and stabilize blood sugar, both of which are critical in reducing vascular inflammation. The soluble fiber in chia seeds also binds to cholesterol in the digestive tract, helping eliminate excess LDL cholesterol through waste. As a result, regular consumption can significantly reduce harmful LDL levels and triglycerides in the blood. Numerous studies have shown that chia seed supplementation can help reduce chronic inflammation, improve blood viscosity, and enhance vascular elasticity. These effects lower the risk of clot formation and heart attack. Chia seeds are also rich in essential minerals like magnesium, calcium, and potassium, key nutrients that regulate blood pressure and support stable heart muscle contractions. This is a simple yet powerful addition to the daily diet for older adults aiming to prevent the progression of cardiovascular disease. 3. Cayenne pepper boosts circulation and helps prevent blood clots. Cayenne pepper, also known as red chili pepper, contains an active compound called capsaicin, the component responsible for its spicy heat and also its powerful biological effects. Capsaicin stimulates the body's production of nitric oxide, a molecule essential for blood vessel dilation, improved circulation, and reduced pressure on arterial walls. Additionally, capsaicin has mild blood thinning properties, which can help reduce the risk of blood clot formation, a major cause of artery blockages and heart attacks in older adults. Some studies suggest that capsaicin may also decrease blood vessel constriction and relieve chest discomfort caused by reduced blood flow to the heart by acting on certain sensory nerve receptors. As a result, when used regularly, cayenne may not only enhance circulation, but also help ease early warning symptoms of heart disease. However, because of its strong heat, cayenne pepper should be used in appropriate amounts. You can combine cayenne with olive oil to improve absorption and reduce irritation to the stomach lining. Pairing it with fiber-rich foods like chia seeds also helps soothe the digestive tract and enhance the bioavailability of capsaicin. In the next section, you'll learn how to combine these 3 ingredients, extra virgin olive oil, chia seeds, and cayenne pepper, into a simple daily shot that's easy to prepare and delivers real cardiovascular benefits. No expensive equipment or complicated steps required, just a few minutes each day to proactively support your heart health. How to prepare and use it correctly. What you need to know. Once you understand the benefits of each ingredient, the next crucial step is combining them in the right ratio to create a heart-friendly mixture that's also gentle on the digestive system, especially for older adults. The following recipe has been designed with safe daily dosage to support cardiovascular health as part of a preventive routine. Start by preparing 3 basic ingredients: 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, 1 teaspoon of chia seeds, and 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper powder. If cayenne powder isn't available, you can substitute with a small slice of fresh red chili or 1 drop of diluted cayenne extract. In all cases, start with a low dose and gradually increase based on your body's tolerance. Add all the ingredients to a small glass, pour in about 100 milliliters, roughly 3.5 ounces of warm water, stir well, and let it sit for 10 minutes. This allows the chia seeds to expand into a natural gel, which soothes the stomach lining and helps your body absorb the anti-inflammatory compounds more steadily and effectively. The best time to drink this is in the morning, about 20 to 30 minutes before breakfast, while your stomach is still empty, to maximize absorption. If you experience discomfort taking it on an empty stomach, you can switch to after a light breakfast. Avoid taking it with coffee or digestive stimulants, as they may irritate the gut lining. 1 serving per day is enough, and it should be used consistently for at least 30 days to observe meaningful effects on heart health. A few important precautions. If you are taking blood thinners such as warfarin or aspirin, consult your doctor before using this mixture, as cayenne may increase bleeding risk. Similarly, if you have a history of stomach ulcers, begin with a very small dose and monitor how your body reacts. This mixture is not a replacement for medical treatment, but when used correctly and combined with a healthy lifestyle, it can offer meaningful support for your cardiovascular system. In the next section, you'll learn how to recognize the early signs of coronary artery blockage so you don't miss the critical window for preventing a heart attack. One of the reasons heart attacks are so dangerous is that they often strike without clear warning signs. But the human body does have a way of sending alerts, if you know how to listen. Recognizing these early symptoms allows you to act in time and prevent serious complications. After age 60, it's especially important to pay close attention to subtle but meaningful changes like the ones below. The first symptom often ignored is chest discomfort or pressure, especially when walking upstairs, carrying heavy items, or after eating a heavy, greasy meal. The pain may not be intense. It may feel like tightness or squeezing that lasts a few minutes and goes away with rest. This can be a sign that your coronary arteries are narrowing, reducing blood flow to the heart muscle during exertion. Another warning sign is pain or numbness in the left arm, neck, jaw, or back. This discomfort can spread from the chest or occur independently without a clear cause. If you find yourself short of breath, even after walking a short distance, especially if accompanied by dizziness or unusual fatigue, it may signal that your heart is not getting enough blood. In older women, symptoms may be less typical and show up as nausea, abdominal pain, cold sweats, or unexplained anxiety. If you experience one or more of these symptoms, even briefly, do not ignore them. See your doctor as soon as possible to get screened for coronary artery disease and make timely lifestyle adjustments. Now let's talk about the daily habits that can help keep your arteries clear and your heart functioning properly. Not everyone needs medication or surgery to protect their heart and blood vessels. In many cases, it's your everyday behaviors that play the biggest role in long-term cardiovascular health. Maintaining healthy habits not only slows the progression of atherosclerosis, but also improves heart function, blood pressure, and overall circulation. First, engage in light physical activity each day. You don't need intense workouts, just 20 to 30 minutes of brisk walking or slow cycling daily is enough. If you have joint issues, consider gentle swimming or simple stretching exercises instead. Regular physical movement improves circulation, helps control blood pressure, reduces cholesterol, and enhances the function of your blood vessel lining, endothelium. In addition to physical activity, getting deep and sufficient sleep plays a major role in heart health. Adults over 60 should aim for 6 to 8 hours of sleep each night. Inadequate sleep increases stress hormones, raises blood pressure, and disrupts metabolism, factors that raise the risk of heart attacks. Avoid using electronic devices for at least 1 hour before bedtime, maintain a consistent sleep schedule, and keep your bedroom quiet, cool, and well ventilated. Diet becomes even more important with age. Limit saturated fats found in red meat, poultry skin, butter, and fried foods. Focus on eating more leafy greens, fruits, whole grains, and fatty fish like salmon or mackerel at least twice a week. Avoid refined sugars, sugary sodas, and highly processed foods that are high in salt. Instead of eating large meals at night, try smaller, lighter meals spread throughout the day to reduce stress on the heart and digestive system. Another crucial factor often overlooked is managing emotional stress. Chronic stress increases adrenaline and cortisol, which constrict blood vessels and cause irregular heart rhythms. Older adults should practice deep breathing, try meditation, or engage in relaxing activities such as reading, painting, or gardening to calm the mind and stabilize the nervous system. Proper hydration is also essential. When you're dehydrated, your blood thickens, increasing the risk of clot formation. Aim to drink at least 6 glasses of filtered water daily, spaced evenly from morning to evening unless your doctor has advised fluid restrictions for other medical reasons. Finally, don't forget to monitor your health indicators regularly, including blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, and body weight. Keeping these numbers in a stable range over time is a reliable reflection of your vascular health and your risk of heart attack. Up next, we'll compare the benefits of this natural mixture with common prescription medications so you can better understand how to combine both approaches to prevent and manage heart disease effectively. When it comes to heart disease and the risk of heart attacks, many people ask the same question. Should I rely on prescription medications, or can I use natural remedies like supplements or homemade mixtures instead? The truth is, it's not about choosing one side over the other, it's about combining them correctly to maximize benefits and minimize risks. Prescription medications for heart conditions, such as statins, blood pressure drugs, blood thinners, and vasodilators, are proven to control symptoms, slow disease progression, and reduce the risk of death from heart attacks. However, they often come with side effects, including fatigue, digestive issues, muscle pain, liver changes, or increased bleeding risk. Older adults are frequently prescribed multiple medications at once, which raises the chances of drug interactions and makes long-term compliance more difficult. On the other hand, natural options like olive oil, chia seeds, and cayenne pepper, when used properly, can help cleanse the arteries, reduce inflammation, improve circulation, and support healthy blood pressure. The advantage of natural approaches is that they are generally safer for long-term use, have fewer side effects, don't require a prescription, and are significantly more affordable than pharmaceutical treatments. That said, their effects may be slower, vary by individual, and are not strong enough to replace medication in severe or emergency situations. It's important to remember that a natural one-shot mixture is not a cure. It won't stop a heart attack in progress, nor can it replace anticoagulants for someone who just had a coronary stent placed. But if started early and used consistently alongside healthy lifestyle habits, this can be a powerful strategy for long-term vascular protection. Some patients, after making dietary and lifestyle changes and incorporating natural solutions, have been able to reduce their medication dosages under medical supervision. However, any adjustments must be closely monitored by your healthcare team. Never stop or change your prescribed treatment based on what you read online without consulting your doctor. Up next, you'll hear the real story of an older adult who once faced a serious risk of heart attack and how they used a few simple changes to dramatically improve their vascular health. Harold Bennett, a 71-year-old former firefighter from Oregon, had always been known for his robust health and rarely fell ill. But one day, he found himself unable to climb just 3 steps without experiencing chest pain and shortness of breath. At first, he chalked it up to aging. Fortunately, his wife, Alice, insisted on a full medical checkup. The results were a shock. His coronary arteries were over 70% blocked, and he was at high risk of having a heart attack within the next few months if immediate changes weren't made. Instead of waiting for a stent or bypass surgery, Harold took action and completely transformed his lifestyle. He cut back on red meat, eliminated fast food, stopped drinking alcohol, and committed to a 30-minute walk every morning. But what made the biggest difference, according to Harold, was his daily commitment to a simple mixture of extra virgin olive oil, chia seeds, and a small amount of cayenne pepper for 6 straight months. At first, he found the taste unpleasant, but after just a week, he adjusted and began to feel lighter, slept better, and experienced less fatigue during physical activity. 6 months later, at his follow-up appointment, Harold's doctor was surprised by the improvements. His blood lipid levels had dropped significantly, his blood pressure had stabilized, and he no longer experienced chest tightness when climbing stairs. Although he continued taking a low-dose blood pressure medication, the rest of his cardiovascular health was fully managed through lifestyle and dietary changes. Harold's story isn't a miracle. It's proof that when you take action at the right time, stay consistent with simple habits, and believe in the process, age doesn't have to be a barrier to health or independence. In the final section, we'll summarize the most important takeaways and share a message that every person over 60 should hear at least once in their life. We've just walked through an important journey, starting with a deeper understanding of how dangerous atherosclerosis and heart attacks can be, all the way to identifying early warning signs and learning how to use natural solutions as part of a complete strategy for protecting your heart. But the biggest message of this video isn't about what you need to change, it's the reminder that you still can. Extra virgin olive oil, chia seeds, and cayenne pepper are not miracle cures, but when used correctly and consistently, they can help improve blood vessel health, reduce inflammation, support healthy circulation, and leave you feeling more energized, especially after the age of 60. Add to that a balanced lifestyle, regular movement, deep sleep, and a calm, steady mindset, and you now have a natural defense system against heart disease, something many people sadly don't build until it's too late. What's important to remember is you don't have to wait until something goes wrong to make a change. Don't wait for a trip to the emergency room to realize what you could have done years ago. Your body is still capable of healing, your heart is still beating, and it deserves the care and attention you may have postponed. Start today. Just 1 tablespoon, 1 gentle walk, 1 healthier choice at the dinner table, that's how you extend your life and improve the quality of every day ahead. If you've made it this far, it means you're serious about your health, and that is the most important first step. Now it's time to act. Try applying the recipe we've shared. Stick with it for at least 30 days and observe what changes. Your body will tell you what works. When it comes to building new healthy habits, the hardest part isn't getting started, it's staying consistent. With this simple mix of extra virgin olive oil, chia seeds, and cayenne pepper, you'll start to see real benefits if you take it every day. But if you only stick with it for a few days and then stop, your body won't have enough time to adjust and improve. That's why you need to treat this like a daily ritual, just like brushing your teeth or taking a morning walk, not as a quick fix. One common mistake people make is taking the wrong amount or becoming impatient. Some think that more is better and will bring faster results, but in reality, it can cause harm. Too much cayenne pepper can irritate the stomach. Olive oil, while healthy, is still a fat, and overuse can lead to weight gain. Chia seeds need to be soaked thoroughly to aid digestion. Follow the guidelines, listen to your body's signals, and make small adjustments if needed. Also, remember this: drinking this mixture alone is not enough. It's only one part of a much bigger picture, one that includes daily movement, quality sleep, stress management, and heart-healthy nutrition. If you smoke, start making a plan to cut back. If you're not active, schedule a short daily walk, even if it's just 10 minutes. Don't try to change everything at once, but commit to small, consistent steps. That's the key to lasting results. And finally, I want to leave you with this message. Growing older doesn't mean declining. It's a chance to slow down, live more intentionally, and take charge of your well-being. Don't let your heart pay the price for things that can absolutely be prevented. Show love to your body through the actions you take every single day. If you found this video helpful, please share it with a friend, a family member, or anyone who needs a clear and practical path to better heart health. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss more science-backed, easy-to-follow health guidance made just for you.